This is not just my first visit as Cabinet Secretary. I've been to other countries, but I have not made an official visit as Cabinet Secretary to a particular country. The other countries I've been to is of duty with the President or for other meetings. But to come specifically on a one-to-one visit, this is the first country I've chosen to come to. And this sends a signal of what we expect as a country in terms of our relationship. This current government of President William Ruto has a lot of respect and look up to the President Kagame's leadership. President Kagame has been a senior leader in this region. We believe in his focus, we believe in his motivation. He has turned around this country, he's initiated developments that have not been seen in many parts. And so we are in sync in terms of where we want Kenya to be and where Rwanda is. We're also collaborating very well in terms of peace and security and others. And so I found it easier for me to make my first visit. You know, there are two things about the diaspora situation. One is to take care of their frustrations when they're dealing with many issues. And number two is to strengthen their positions where they are so that they can be able to remit more monies to our country. Currently in Kenya, our foreign exchange, the number one foreign exchange currency comes from our diaspora. So we get more money from our diaspora than industrial relations, than marketing, than selling our tea or coffee or tourism. So they're important, and I'd like to grow what we are receiving right now 3 or 4-fold from our diaspora. So to us, Kenya, diaspora are a source of income to our country, and we want to empower the diaspora to actually invest in Kenya and help turn around Kenya the way the diaspora of Singapore and China turned around their countries. So that is my mission, is to empower diaspora, take care of the small nitty-bitty problems they have, take care of small issues so they can focus on enhancing the relationship with other countries, friendship, and be able to generate that. It is also important to note that Kenya, we are not inward looking, we are outward looking. And we have this concept, economic concept, that if I'm doing well and my friend is doing badly, we are both doing badly. But if I'm doing well and my friend is doing well or even better, then both of us tend to rise even faster. So we're looking at even we'd like to get Rwanda nationals to invest more in Kenya. We want them to come and work in Kenya. We want them to get into the Kenyan industry system, as we also increase and work on Kenyans working here and industry. So that both of us have a vibrant economic interaction and relationship. That is good for us, for both countries. We grow rich together. Our President Ruto likes saying, you cannot share poverty, but you can share prosperity. We can share wealth, but you can't share poverty. We want Kenya and Rwanda to be very rich countries. And by working together in our diaspora, we can make our countries to be very rich. It's good for our people. You see, it's important. What we want to do is that we want to use this process as an example. So we want to do, you know, when you're in school, you're taught by example. So we want people to show and tell them, look, it has worked. Look at the benefits. That is more convincing than trying to sit down with people and showing them the benefits. But once you show them the benefits, then it's an easier sell, and that's where we're going. As I said, we see eye to eye, we're able to sort a lot of things together. But the good thing is that when you look at the East African Commission, when you look at Tanzania, Uganda, you look at Burundi and others, we are now in a place where by now we are more aligned in terms of leadership, in terms of processes, in our thinking. I don't think there will be any better alignment than this time. And our interaction so far is very good. We were in Uganda, we were in Tanzania, we have been here, and we now look at South Sudan. We are now getting to a point of alignment, whereby now we are working together in our region, and as we say in Swahili, mbele iko sawa. You know, the future looks bright. No, the issue of integration, because that comes with integration issues. The issues of integration are alive and they're on the table. And I do believe that we'll get there. But you see, for you to have a common currency, you also need to have economies that are more at par. Otherwise, what happens is that when you introduce a new currency, you can get the currency of another country totally devalued, and that can have shock effects in the market in those countries. So these trade agreements that we're trying to put into place, this free trade and everything, will align the way we work, and that's going to be easier for us. It's not just about the currency, it's also free movement of people, because we want people to be able to cross the border. If you go to Europe, you'll just need your ID to go across. Now, Kenya and Rwanda, you can walk into Rwanda with just Kenyan identity card. You can walk into Kenya with Kenyan identity card. But it is not the same in Tanzania and other countries. So we have to start there, and then we move to the currency. We move to business protocols, permits, agreements, so that it's the same. The tax regime also needs to be balanced, as you know, so that now if you're paying taxes in Kenya, you're not paying funny looking taxes in Rwanda, or you're paying taxes in Rwanda, you're not paying funny looking taxes in Kenya, so we can harmonize the requirements for taxation and others. Well, it is not moving. They tried moving the operations, we reversed them to Mombasa. The previous regime had moved the operations from Nairobi and Naivasha, had moved them to... What we want to create is a system in Naivasha for enabling goods to be cleared faster and to make it easier, so that now your trucks don't have to go all the way to Mombasa for goods destined here. We can use the SDR, that is our train system, to bring them to Naivasha, and so the Rwandese trucks just pick them up in Naivasha, which is closer to Rwanda, and then they can be here faster. It's good for trade. If you've got exports to Europe or anywhere and you want them to go through Mombasa, you pack them here, they arrive in Kigali, they get into a train, by tomorrow morning they're on a ship, they are gone. So that is helping. So actually, one of the reasons we are moving not a lot of handling of cargo and others to Naivasha as we expand Naivasha is because of that reason, is to enhance trade to the western side of Kenya. The president believes that the first thing is that we need to harmonize our trade and business laws and rules. We need to have really a free trade area whereby the taxes that you are paying, the duties and levies are all the same. If we have duty-free in Kenya, it needs to be duty-free in Rwanda, Uganda and others. We need to harmonize that movement of goods to make it easier. We need to have that free flow, number 2, of people. I want to be able to wake up and walk in with my business and continue my business. I wake up in Nairobi, do my business here, sleep in Kampala, and following morning have breakfast in Dar es Salaam, and I'm back to Nairobi, and everything moves smoothly. So the first one is to harmonize. We really need to harmonize our tax regime, we need to harmonize our trade regimes, we need to harmonize our movement regimes, and that will sort out everything else. So far so good. As you know, there are 2 negotiations, there are 2 peace processes. There's one led by the Angolan president who is visiting your country today, and there's one that is led by East African Commission. So Rwanda is fully involved with one in East African Commission, so is Kenya. We want to harmonize both processes so you can have one process for the peace in DRC. We do believe that the only solution to war, the only solution to disagreement is people being able to sit together and talk. Kenya is ready, and we've committed ourselves. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta is in charge. We told him to be a peace envoy. He's in charge of the negotiations that are going on, the peace process. From Kenyan point of view, we want to include all players. Let everybody come to the table and let us agree that we need peace, stability, and then sort out those issues of equality that people want, sort out all those issues. Because even if you go and fight and fight and fight and fight, it doesn't matter how long you fight, you will still need to sit at a table and agree. So why don't you sit at a table and agree before spilling blood, before causing so much havoc of destruction that will need money for rebuilding, before causing hatred with the spilling of blood? Why don't we sit down and sort the problems at the beginning, not at the end? We do believe that the violence that has gone on long enough. We do believe that the divisions that are there have gone long enough. We are all brothers and sisters. Kenya follows very closely the principles that we have by African Union, and we appreciate the statements by President Kagame when he says that African problems will require African solutions, and that's where we are. So we are taking the lead in terms of ensuring there's peace and stability in our region. So we are fully involved, and we are very optimistic. Kenya is very optimistic that we'll be able to get a breakthrough, and we're going to have peace and stability, because we are dealing with people who are brothers and who are our sisters, and we can be able to talk to them and convince them and be able to get everybody to understand that at the end of the day, peace and sitting and fighting in boardrooms, negotiating in boardrooms is better than killing women and children in the field. That has never solved any problem. This sitting in boardrooms is better. We come up with a solution. I think one of the issues that we need to deal with is that I think people will need a form of healing that is based on getting people who are suspects to go through a clear judicial process. And I think this is an issue that will be on the table for discussion. It's an issue that the government of Rwanda has brought up with Kenya and other countries that might have suspects who deserve to go through a process of judicial process, and if found guilty to be jailed or whatever action needs to be taken according to the rule of law. So I think that's an issue that will also be on the table for discussion. But I see that issue cannot be discussed if people are taking pot shots at each other, if people are scaring each other, if people are provoking each other. So it needs to be taken when people can see eye to eye, and it needs a give and take from all parties that are involved. Rwanda should continue reacting the same way it has reacted, with restraint, because you have to look at the bigger picture. And I really want to commend the Rwandese government, and as Kenya we commend the Rwandese government for looking and seeing the bigger picture, because any retaliation and any adverse action is just playing into the hands of people who don't want to stay at peace. There are people on the sidelines watching us who want us to fight, because when we fight, we are divided. If we are divided, we fall. When you are divided, you are easier to rule and to control. So a united East Africa, a united Africa where people can talk to each other is not necessarily a good thing to some people, So we want to show people that we are reasonable. These provocations, we are going to meet them. Yes, we say don't provoke. We are going to call the people provoked to book, tell them don't do this, this is unacceptable. But we don't want to escalate an already heated situation. I think the problem we have is that we need to ensure that agencies, because people who go to these countries from Rwanda, from Uganda, from Tanzania, from Kenya, are sent through agencies. Bear with me. We need to make sure that agencies that send our people to these countries operate on a similar protocol, and that the protocols are fully monitored, and that they make sense. Because what has happened is that sending our children to work in the Middle East is big business. If you get into that racket today, you'll quit journalism. You'll be doing something else. I'm calling it a racket. So it's a very good thing, because there are some agencies that are very good. They are sending our people there to work, and you find that the professionals in the Middle East, the poor teachers, who are nurses, who are in business, in the finance, they're okay. But that domestic market is where the problem is. People are sent down there to work as domestic workers. We've got a lot of cultural work to do. We've got a lot of legal things to do. The governments of the Middle East have now ratified new laws that are in sync with the international labor practices. So what is remaining is to get these agents to work well, and we're working on ours in Kenya. I'm an example to all hustlers that you can be born in the slums, you can live in the slums, and by hard work and God's blessing, make something out of yourself. And I'm saying that I'm lucky, but I don't have to be the lucky one. Why can't we have majority of us to be like me? Why can't we transform Kenya to be a country of dreams, not only for the ones who are born rich or the ones who work hard like myself and get a lucky breakthrough? You know, I could have been anywhere else, but God blessed me and I was lucky. But we don't want people to depend on luck. We want to set up systems so that people know it doesn't matter where you are born, that you can work hard, you can invest in the right way, and you can live a comfortable life. I'm the same man. I still have the same principles. I still have the same beliefs. I believe that since I was young, that we are put here for a purpose, and our purpose is to make the life of other people better. It's not about ourselves, it's about others. When you've been given an opportunity to serve, whether you're a journalist as a fourth estate, whether you are a filmmaker, whether you're a business person, whether you're a person in government like myself, our job is to make the life of other people better. It's an opportunity to serve humanity, and I do believe we are doing God's work. And God expects us to do the best for His people. And that's my responsibility. That has been my philosophy. Let's make the world better for all of us. I want to encourage Rwanda population, the Rwandese, to come and visit Kenya. We get quite a number of visitors, but you know, Kenya is just a few hours. We've got flights to Kenya, and we are very welcoming to people from Rwanda. So we welcome you to come as tourists. Come in December, come in January, come to Kenya, go to climb the mountains, go to the ocean, see Mombasa, come to vibrant Nairobi, and also come as investors. We like to get more Rwanda nationals investing in Kenya. You come, we'll ensure you invest, you get returns of your money. Let's set up businesses between the two countries. Then we all grow together, because the future is bright. And from where we sit, we think that the relationship between Rwanda and Kenya will for millions of years be a close relationship. So let's make it also a profitable relationship.